Today we're dipping back into a style of video we haven't done for a couple months now, where I'm a huge fan of the Reddit forums. She's not so much, but I love the Reddit forums. I've learned so much from Reddit.
I feel like there's enough drama in life that I don't need to sit and read somebody else's drama.
Reddit's
like
just drama. Just drama.
Yeah, I don't like the drama.
Well, I enjoy it.
I know you do.
So, today we're doing a story that I read recently from the Am I the A? So we'll just call it Am I in the Wrong to keep it monetizationable. Monetizationable.
A Clintism.
For YouTube.
Yes.
Well, they'll still pay me for the video, I'm trying to say. But not saying those naughty words. So, am I wrong for ordering pizza at my friend's wedding because there was no food? Ooh. Ooh.
Well,
how would that make you feel as the bride if somebody ordered pizza at the reception? I really wouldn't care.
Honestly, I wouldn't care. If you were hungry and you wanted a pizza, get a pizza.
Yeah. Here we go. Myself and my wife were invited to my friend's wedding. The wedding was going to have around 70 people with mostly family. When we got there, we were seated at a table with some other people. Nice people. And we mingled well and had a good time chatting. The wedding was also quite nice. Both my friend and his new wife were very happy. After the ceremony, every table got 2 bottles of wine, bread and butter, and there also was an open bar, so we started having a few drinks. Then the food came out. It looked really good. The food was set up for a buffet. Perfect. I was half buzzed and looking forward to getting some food in my belly. When it was time to eat, every few tables at a time were going to get called, which is fine. The first few tables that were called were understandably the family of both sides. Then the rest were. The problem was that the family members, the in-laws, are larger people. Now, I don't want to shame people for how much they eat, but I noticed the helpings of their food they had while I was patiently waiting for us to be called. I also noticed that they went for seconds before all the tables were called and no one stopped them. I didn't say anything, though I thought that was rude. I just assumed that there was just a lot of food. To my surprise, by the time we were called, there was nothing left. I asked if there was more coming out, and apparently that already occurred. So we grabbed the little we could and went back to sit down and ate the scraps. We were all still pretty hungry and a bit pissed off, so we kind of bash-talked that the first few tables ate all the food. Someone mentioned that they could go for some pizza, and then I had the drunken idea of ordering some, LOL. So that is what we did. We all pitched in and ordered 4 large pizzas and some chicken wings from a local pizza joint close to the venue, so it didn't take long to be delivered. I met the guy outside and brought the food to our table, and we started to eat. Some of the other tables noticed and asked where the pizza came from. Apparently some of the other tables close to ours didn't get any food either, so we shared with them. This caused some commotion because other people were looking for and asking the wedding party if there was pizza available. I guess there were others that didn't get to eat either. We did share with anyone who asked us. My friend came to talk to me about why I ordered the food. His bride was not happy about it. It ruined the aesthetics. So I told him that we didn't get to eat, that the food ran out long before our table was called, and we were really hungry. He then asked why we didn't just step out and eat and come back. Though annoyed about that, I respectfully explained to him that we were all drinking on an empty stomach and that it probably wasn't the best idea to have drunk people walking around looking for food. I don't think he liked that. But we went back to his bride, who was glaring at us. Like, what were we supposed to do? Starve? This wasn't the end, though. As we were finishing eating, one of the in-laws came to our table and he asked where the pizza came from. This is where I may be the butthole. There were 2 slices left. I knew he was eyeing them. I asked the other people at my table if they wanted one. Everyone declined. This guy then said he'd have one. I then took the 2 slices and put them on my plate and started to eat them. They looked at him and said something like, "No, you and everyone at your tables had way more than your fair share of the buffet and ate all of it. This is the reason why we ordered food in the first place. And now you have the nerve to ask us to share?" His face went red and he returned to his table. There was a lot of discussion going on there. They were all looking back at us with daggers. The bride looked even more ticked off at us. She had a bit of an argument with my friend. He eventually came back to tell us we had to leave. I didn't mean to start any problems, so me and my wife called a cab and left. He called me a few days later and we had a long talk. I explained my perspective and he agreed that his in-laws were really rude for eating all the food and leaving most of the other guests with very little. A lot of people actually complained to him about it. Everyone was drinking, thinking that there would be food, and they were disappointed. He was upset with his in-laws because he told them how many guests there would be and to order the food for that many people. He also saw how much they were taking, but assumed they ordered enough. He was wrong. He brought this up to his wife, and she said that apparently because the in-laws paid for the alcohol and the food, they felt entitled to eat what they wanted. She was really mad at them and reamed them out for tainting her special day. He also said a lot of other non-family guests started to leave soon after we left because they were too hungry. They still had fun celebrating, but I did kind of put a downer on their special day. Out of 70 people, about 30 left. I also found the guy that came to our table was his father-in-law. The father-in-law was really embarrassed by what I said to him. He felt pretty bad when he found out close to half the guests didn't get to eat anything and left early. So, am I in the wrong?
So from my perspective, just knowing, being involved in planning events, I know that a lot of times the caterers, I mean, they cut it right down to the number of people because they are, I mean, they're
always
looking to make
extra.
money.
Always order extra.
Right. So if you're planning an event, always add on a little bit more so that way you can ensure that everybody has enough. The second part of that is whomever they use to help organize or coordinate this event did a very poor job at organizing the tables to go up. Why? And that's something when you have a buffet, you need to make sure that every table goes like so it's organized and everybody gets food.
And there's no seconds before every table goes.
Yeah, the fact that that whomever the parties weren't observant enough to see that other tables didn't have any food and they were going up to get seconds, which means they were already cutting in line of people who, you know, hadn't eaten, I think
very rude.
Was inappropriate.
Very inappropriate.
So in that instance, I'm kind of like, well, that was poorly organized.
And the in-laws were b-holes about it. Yes, they paid for it all, but
you need to read the room and see what's going on before you just jump up and grab more food.
I paid for sauce, so I'm just going to go over and eat again.
But from this guy's perspective, I totally get being hungry.
He's hungry.
Absolutely. And I don't necessarily disagree with him going and ordering food, but I think that there's a way that it could have gone better where he goes to his friend, the groom, and says, hey man, we weren't able to get any food. Would you be opposed to us, you know, getting together and getting some people
got no food.
Some pizzas? You know, obviously they were paying for it themselves. Yeah. The people at the tables.
That they pitched in and they got pizzas because they were hungry.
So I definitely don't have issue with that. And I honestly think that if he would have gone to the groom and said, hey man, we didn't get any food. There's like, you know, 3 tables of 10 that didn't get any food, and the groom may have been like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, we're gonna do something, we'll, you know, let me talk to the caterers, let me see what we can do, whatever. So I think that there's he could have handled it differently, and if he didn't want to talk to the groom because he didn't want to embarrass them, they could have simply stepped outside and eating the pizzas outside. I know, but
public intox, it would have been a bad situation.
Well,
drunk people out, it would have been a bad situation.
But
it was
then,
safer. Yeah.
But then when he deliberately,
well, the father-in-law situation, the father-in-law was completely wrong to come over and ask for some of their food whenever he already had seconds.
Agreed, but
that's his entitlement right there, which made me mad.
Agreed, but I also kind of feel like he
went
instinctively Like, yeah.
Which I freaking love. But anyway, updates.
So I think there's a lot of parties that are wrong in this.
Says, okay, the only reason he explained a few more things. Only reason I ordered the pizza was because I was drinking. All I ate that day was a sandwich for lunch and some bread that was at the table, so I needed something more substantial in my stomach so I wouldn't get sick. So no, I couldn't wait it out a few hours, because obviously people probably say,
right.
you know. I wasn't the only person drinking either because the open bar was booming. However, I guess I could have held back on drinking a bit until the food came out. But if you would have waited, I mean, there's still no food for you.
But he wouldn't have known.
No.
So
No.
you can't. No.
So it says, those that say I fat shamed the father. No, he didn't fat shame him at all. He put him into his place, is what he did. Those saying that I fat shamed the father-in-law, I'm going to have to disagree. I didn't say anything to him about his body. No, you didn't. I was honest with him about why I had to order the food. I don't judge people based on looks and accept everyone for who they are, as they are. You can't judge a book by its cover, so I judge people based on their actions. 100%. If you knew me, you would see that my friend group ranges from basic people to freaks and weirdo, blah, blah. In fact, a good friend of mine is... Okay, that's just stupid there. This is not an AI-generated post. Okay, The buffet was at my friend's request. He loves buffets, and this was his added touch to the wedding. He also chose the dishes. I know that is not common for weddings to do buffets. We did. It was my idea.
It was your idea.
But that's what he wanted. And it says, hey guys... Update. First, I never stated when the wedding happened. The wedding was last week on July 20th. My friend just stopped by for a little bit. Apparently his wife was more upset than he initially said, but not at me, but towards her family. He also said she wanted to apologize for booting me. So father-in-law feels really bad and he is going to step up and try to fix the situation. He's going to throw an after-wedding shindig, LOL, his words. Everyone who is at the wedding will be invited, including me, my wife, and some additional people. They're thinking there will be about 100 guests. Father-in-law also promised that there will be an assortment of food, more than enough for everyone, plus an army, LOL. He also wanted to personally let me know there will be 50 large pizzas from the same joint I ordered from. That is his way of adding some humor to the situation. I think it's pretty funny. He's also going to hire a DJ or a live band, possibly have some fireworks and arrange other events like axe throwing and a bonfire. This actually sounds like it's going to be a real fun time. Only difference is this will be a BYOB event, which is not a big deal. Father-in-law is pulling in a favor from a friend of his who owns a farm. The farm has 2 guest houses and the main house, as well as plenty of space outside. About 50 people can be squeezed in between the 3 houses, so he is going to encourage people to bring RVs, I have one, campers and tents if they can. Nothing is official yet, but they are looking to hold the shindig around mid-August. Sounds like it's going to be a blast. I'll update you when I can. Which, that's an update that I actually have not seen yet.
So, I mean, I think it's really nice that the father-in-law is going to do this.
Very,
but
very bad.
I think it's gone like to an extreme where it could just be the father-in-law reaching out to, the guests and saying, I am so sorry that this happened. We didn't intend for it to go this way. Whatever. Because this sounds like it could be another event that could go wrong. And then it could be like a whole, like this. Now we've got 100 people versus 70 people. It just, to me, it feels like we're going a little bit over the top.
I don't know. I mean, I see what he's doing there. I mean, he wants, because he realized that he screwed up. His family screwed up. They,
which it goes
all
back.
The guests didn't get what, I mean, as a guest to a wedding and to be left out of it from the food part is pretty disrespectful. And he sees that.
It just goes back to my original comment, though, that the friend could have just pulled the groom away and been like,
read the room.
Like, hey man,
read the room. I mean, like the bride and groom should have been like, is the food all gone? And look around like, we have 6 tables with no food.
That's difficult.
That's reading the room, too.
But that's difficult.
But it's only 70 people, so that would only be maybe 10, 15 tables.
But also think back to our wedding reception, and the bride and groom are often pulled in many directions.
We didn't get to eat
we did
at
not.
all because we tried to eat, but people wanted to pull us away to take pictures and go meet your aunt, blah, blah, you haven't seen in 20 years, tell her thanks for coming. Like, we didn't get to eat.
We ate after everybody had left.
It was already done. And then we finally ate.
You know, we had plenty of food, but...
So that's true. The bride and groom would, if it was like hours, you had no idea that the food's gone.
Exactly.
Because we're being pulled away from us to remember.
I mean, we got our food, and almost immediately as we sat down, we got pulled away.
Yes, it was immediately. And we never got to sit back down to eat.
I feel like it was whoever they used to do the catering, they're the ones who needed to organize and read the room, and the DJ's there, or whoever is doing the announcing or whatever.
Say, please, no seconds until everybody has had or just the caterers say, hey, excuse me, your table has already gone. We have 5 tables back here who have not eaten yet. We're getting low on food.
It was a very poor organization on the catering and whomever was organizing the event.
But the main blame goes to the in-laws, the parents and the direct family of the bride and groom, with not having the decency to say, you know, we probably shouldn't go back and cut in line a second time when half the room hasn't had any food yet.
Exactly.
I mean, that just goes back to the issue at hand goes back to the in-laws were the main issue.
I think you just definitely always need to read the room.
Read the room.
When you're in a situation like that, you know, just look around, see, does everybody have their food? You know, and how is it that people are eating that fast to go back for seconds when there's already 30 people that haven't?
Because they probably knew too that they ordered just enough to feed everybody with just a little bit left over, so they wanted to make sure that they got the leftovers first, and they end up taking everybody else's food.
Now it sounds like it's costing them a whole lot more because now he's going to throw an even bigger party,
which is kind of funny now.
I don't know. I feel like the whole situation could have been handled differently.
Yeah.
But again, when there's alcohol involved, a lot of times people don't make the
liquid
best.
Courage too.
Yes, they don't make the best
decisions.
decisions.
The liquid courage, which is why they should not go outside to go and try to find food, because liquid courage.
Well, I wasn't saying go and find food. I'm just saying stand out there and eat.
There would have been so, because the bride and groom would have gone outside. Why are you out here for? And then there's like half the places outside eating pizza. It would have created a worse situation. I don't know, but that wasn't our situation, so I'm okay with what happened. Wow. So moral of the story is read the room and be courteous
in many situations. Just read the room. It's not necessarily just food. I mean, I've been in a lot of different situations where it's like, ooh, person, you need to read the room.
Read the room. You're not going along with the rest of everybody. You're going against the grain. Yeah, too easy.
Too easy.
So what's your views down below? Comment down whatever you think.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
All right, we'll see you next time.